Listen, I agree with you. I think there's a great deal of hypocrisy, whether it's a mosque, a church, a temple, a synagogue, to be limited to 10. And as you said, there are stores here that are far more than 10. You have to wonder, does the COVID virus have something against religious people? David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, as you know, Toronto is in the gray zone. That is the highest lockdown level. And that means attendance in buildings is limited to 10 persons, including places of worship. Well, last week we were tipped off by a viewer. He sent along film of this mosque behind me that seemed to be entertaining more than 10 people. Certainly the lineup and the lack of social distancing in the lineup is cause for concern. That is, if you ascribe to fairness. While we appreciate the viewer tip, we think that all places of worship should be open. Christian churches, Hindu and Sikh temples, synagogues, mosques. It's interesting, at this particular mosque, their main parking lot has been closed off, and meaning that the people attending here are parking in this strip of private property. I believe it's private property because there's a sign saying no trespassing. We're on the parking lot of a mall near the mosque. And I can tell you, we were observing the lineup of people, and at one point I started the count of people going into the mosque, and it was, I don't know at what point I started counting, because from the point I started counting, I saw 12 people enter the mosque. So, and for what it's worth, I did go to the website at the mosque, and it is encouraging the attendees here to follow the COVID-19 guidelines. One of the excerpts is, "Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, in Salah, prayers will continue while limiting the congregation to 10 people only. Always remember, Allah the Almighty is in control of every situation." And then for precautions, it notes sanitizing before you enter the prayer hall. If you are sick, stay at home. The elderly, the weak, women, and children should also stay at home. Refrain from socializing before and after the prayer. Bring your own prayer mat and wear a mask. Those are some of the guidelines that is being advocated here. I'm not outing this mosque. I believe everyone should have the right to worship, regardless of the faith they subscribe to. But it would seem that in Mayor John Tory's Toronto, there is one rule for thee and one rule for me. Actually, folks, I think we might have some answers to some of our queries or our speculation. I see somebody in an orange vest. I assume he's with the mosque in some capacity. He's headed our way, so let's just see what this gentleman has to say. Oh, hi, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Are you with the mosque here by any chance?
No, I'm just volunteering.
Oh, okay then. We were just, I'm David Menzies with Rebel News, and we were told that maybe there are some COVID-19 regulations that are being violated here.
No, we are only letting 10 people in,
Okay.
right? And as per the city law, they are only, now they are, on the website I think it's been updated that only 20 people, 10 people separate hall,
Okay.
right? So that's exactly what we are doing right now.
Okay then, because it seems that there's...
Anybody in more than 10 people, 10 people.
Okay. What about the social distancing and...
We are telling them to maintain social distances,
Okay.
but it's not up to us. We cannot force somebody to, or we cannot push them. We are telling them repeatedly, and if somebody is not following it, we cannot do anything.
Yeah, and don't get the wrong idea. I want all places of worship to be open. I mean, why does the Walmart and the Costco's of the world
Have you
get...
have you been in Skyland?
No, what's Skyland?
Go and check over there.
Okay, is that a mall?
That's a grocery store,
Okay.
but there's no social distancing or anything like that.
I believe you, sir. I believe
Go
you.
over there first.
Okay.
We are trying our best because we know we have to follow the rules,
Okay then.
right? And that's the reason You see the distance. We are trying to maintain the distance, and we're only letting 10 people in. That's it.
Yeah. It just seems like there's way more than 10 people here and way more than 10 cars here.
You might find it, but inside there's only 10.
Okay then.
10.
All right then. Well, I'll take your word for it. And believe me, I'm.
And by the way, last time the city they came in, they checked everything.
Oh, the city did check it out.
Came in.
Okay.
So,
all right then.
So they are okay with that.
Okay then. All right. Well, listen, I agree with you. I think there's a great deal of hypocrisy, whether it's a mosque, a church, a temple, a synagogue, to be limited to 10. And as you said, there are stores here that are far more than 10. You have to wonder, does the COVID virus have something against religious people?
No. It's nothing like that. Because the city is very flexible. Yeah. When they allow 10 people, that's what we are doing. We're maintaining 10 people, not more than 10 people.
Okay.
Not even that, but we tell people to maintain social distance.
Okay then.
And we are trying our best, but if they don't do it, then what can we do? We cannot enforce by ourselves. It's the city or it's the law that has to do it.
I agree, sir.
Any city guy or police, if they want to come and control it, they're most welcome.
Okay.
But we are trying to, follow the rules as much as we can.
Yes. And I guess my point, sir, is that if we can pack hundreds of people into a Costco, why can't we, put that many people into a place of worship too?
No, but the thing is, when the city has a law, no matter it's a Costco or a religious place, everybody has to follow it.
Right, but I'm saying the law doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm not the one to decide whether it makes sense or not.
Okay then.
But as a citizen of Canadian citizen, I have to follow.
Yes,
so
I understand.
If somebody tells me, is it okay to follow? I would recommend, yes, you have to follow.
Okay.
If the city says you have to follow, you have to follow.
Okay then.
Right? And if you have any questions, talk to them, put a petition, and then this is the way to approach. But it's not like you're breaking the law, going against the city. And that's what we are doing here. We are following the law.
And just to be clear, sir, with all these people here and with all these cars in the parking lot, there are only 10 people inside that mosque. Is that right?
That's right. Okay. That's right. Outside you might find people, but we are trying to tell them to follow the distance. They are following the distance, but it's.
Oh, I understand.
We are trying our best. That's why we have a lot of volunteers outside.
Okay.
Telling people not to get closer.
Okay.
Inside we have volunteers. We have 8 volunteers inside.
Okay.
And as soon as they pray, 6 minutes, they're out. 5 minutes, they're out.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a quick service.
Quick service. And then we tell them, just pray the mandatory prayers here, go home and pray the rest.
Well, there you have it, folks. Based on what that volunteer told us, the mosque is following the rules. So I guess in one respect, appearances can be deceiving. He told us that the services are lasting just about 6 minutes. So it's one group of 10 in and then they're out again in fewer than 7 minutes. And also, I think he raised a good point too. The mall parking lot we're on, if you were to look at some of the stores here, folks, I can tell you there's far more people in those stores. There's far less social distancing. So it's just kind of strange how these rules are so arbitrary when it comes to, say, a retail store or a supermarket versus a place of worship. Now, again, I'm assuming he's telling me the truth. He said the police did make a visit to show that the mosque is in compliance. But if the rules are being broken here, I don't think that's fair. We've seen Christian churches all across Canada being harassed. And I would argue, as ludicrous as these COVID-19 rules are, if it's one rule for one place of worship, it should be the same rule for all places of worship. And the stats show you're relatively young, you're relatively healthy, you have a 6 times higher chance dying crossing this street to the north of me. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, are you sick and tired of bureaucrats and politicians and health board officials shutting down your business, preventing you from making a living, preventing you from giving others gainful employment? Well, if that is the case, please go to iwillopen.com. That's iwillopen.com. Let me know if you're planning to open illegally, and I will come out and tell your story.